Hello and welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Sherry Below, your community correspondent, which is a new title for me, and I love it because I get to interview people from our community and share some great things that are happening in and around the Hudson area. Today I have two guests who are going to talk about an important upcoming event in Hudson that every viewer should be excited about because it's a big deal. Mark Kretschmer is here along with Stephanie Uzdigian, and they'll tell you more in a minute. Mark is a senior civil engineer for BAR, which is a company that helps develop, manage, process, and restore natural resources. Yes, I did my homework, Mark. Stephanie is the chief audit executive for the Minnesota State Retirement System. But it's not their jobs that bring them here today. It's their hearts and their desire to help less fortunate people, especially children who go hungry. So Mark and Stephanie are organizing an event that will allow hundreds of people to come to Hudson's YMCA and help package meals for hungry children around the world. It's called Hudson Area Goliath Mobile Pack, and the organization that they're partnering with is called Feed My Starving Children. Mark, let's start at the beginning. Before this mobile pack idea surfaced, you had done a lot of groundwork to get to the point that we're at today. You had an idea for a community race, and you wanted to have the proceeds benefit an organization, so you chose Feed My Starving Children. So talk about that idea and the race.
Well, Goliath Challenge started basically from the point where I ran a mud run type race, very similar to what the Goliath Challenge is. Did that with some friends. Awesome event. It was fun. Had a great time. But I walked away from it thinking, I wish this was more of a family event. I wish you could bring the kids to something like this, and it kind of wasn't fit for that. So had that idea in my head. At the same time, small group at church, Bible study. We were reading a book called Radical.
Who's that by?
And that's by David Platt.
Okay.
So, that book is all about stepping out of your boundaries, challenging, and having goals, bringing your faith out into the world and stuff and making a difference. So, the combination of those two things kind of happened at the same time, and God kind of said, hey, you know what? He knocked on my shoulder and said, why don't you go with that? Run that race, get that thing going. So brought it to our small group, and small group kind of latched onto it well, and we got it rolling, so it was pretty cool.
Obstacle race.
Yeah.
And so it was hard, and you had to build all of these obstacles.
Well, yeah, it was
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I mean, it's just so people know what it is. It's a running race. So there's a 5K for like the adults. There's also a kids race, this shorter distance, but a lot of obstacles in the whole mix as you run the race. There's a lot of hills. Obstacles are like climbing walls and rope swings, going through mud pits, crossing ponds, giant slip and slide, all that awesome stuff that you would want in a mud run. And, creating all that stuff took a lot of work, but, in the end, seeing what came out of it is awesome.
Was this one of the props that you had to
use? That
is
one of them right there,
yes.
In
the race, you had to carry?
Yes, the Goliath sword. So.
That's awesome. How many years has the Goliath Challenge happened?
So it's been 5 years now. I was part of it the first 4 years, kind of stepped back a little bit from it. It just grew every year. We started out, I think, our first year with maybe 400 runners or something like that. The last year I was running it, we got it to like 1,300. So, and we're able to raise $46,000 in the last year. So it's just steadily been growing. It's been great.
So a little bit of new leadership, but you're still mentoring.
Yeah, I'm still involved.
Yes.
On the periphery a little bit. Life got busy for me, so you got to kind of step back, and it's been good. I mean, other people get the chance to do this too. I mean, it's all about God. It's all about being His hands and feet, and that's what I got out of it. It was so great to be part of that, and it's awesome to see other people get the chance to do that as well. So
excellent. So this Feed My Starving Children organization is where the proceeds go. Yep. And Stephanie, tell us a little bit more about that organization.
So Feed My Starving Children was founded in 1987. It's a Minnesota-based not-for-profit, and the primary mission is to feed malnourished children around the world, excuse me. And it's really a simple process. It's all about children and adults coming together into a central location. There's actually sites now all over the country, but essentially coming and packing the meals that are then distributed to partners throughout the world and feeding the malnourished children. And Feed My Starving Children really believes that hope begins when hunger is satisfied. So when those bodies are starting to get nourished, that hope can then begin again for these young people. And so what a great mission for us here in the U.S. who have so much, to be able to give 2 hours of our time really in a shift and to pack meals that will bring hope to these children.
Yeah, being a former teacher, I remember too, children's basic needs have to be met before they can even go on to learn and things like that. So that's awesome. We have one of these packs that you pack, right? What's inside of a package, or how does that? What are the kids getting?
So there's actually 3 formulations that I am aware of. Some for the most malnourished children. So there is the rice, soy, vegetables, and protein. And it's made simply with boiled water. And so it's a very easy package to make for the children. And we will send those out. We will pack upwards of, I believe 50 can be packed per person per 2-hour shift. And so those will then be shipped by partners throughout the world.
And I've heard groups like birthday party groups will go over to Feed My Starving Children, and in lieu of getting presents, let's take our birthday party over there, or the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts, church groups, families.
Yes.
It's a great experience because really they work together and they're pouring cups of rice and they get orientated on exactly what to do. They're playing loud music, right? It's really fun. You're wearing hair night. You're dancing. It's just a great, great thing. And just the premise of knowing that this is helping kids is awesome. Mm-hmm. But you've both traveled overseas as well and been on mission trips and have seen these children who receive these meals. And I thought that would be interesting to hear about each of your trips. Mark, where did you go and what did you experience?
Well, about 2 years ago, I got the chance to go to Haiti. That was with a Feed My Starving Children group. It was great. It was an awesome opportunity to be able to do that. It was a group of significant donors that were kind of chosen to go on this trip with the Goliath Challenge. I was lucky to be able to do that. But went there, it really brought things full circle. I mean, we had spent a lot of time working on Goliath, a lot of effort into, trying to raise money for Feed My Starving Children. But when you actually go there and see how those packed meals make such a difference there. When we went there, it was focused on really seeing all the partners that Feed My Starving Children has there, which was like Love a Child, Mission of Hope, Healing Haiti. You probably heard of them as well. So we got to see the partners on the ground. So, once in a while, you kind of people ask, well, why did you choose Feed My Starving Children? Well, that was after being there, it was easy to know that was the right place to go, because the partners that they have there, how that money is making it to where it needs to go in a country that's so devastated from an earthquake like they were, and roads, transportation, infrastructure is so damaged. How do you even get those meals to where they need to go in a condition like that? But Feed My Starving Children is so well connected there, and so has such great partners that they make that happen. And when you go to their website, and part of choosing a charity, you always wonder, okay, how much of the money actually goes where it needs to go. I mean, Feed My Starving Children, 90% of the money goes to feeding the kids. 99% or more of the meals actually make it to their destination. So when you see that, and then when I saw it in Haiti on how they're making that happen, I was just like, wow. I mean, it's definitely a God-blessed organization. So it was a great trip. I loved every minute of it, and it really opened my eyes.
Was there what was the highlight?
The highlight was well, Stephanie and I have talked about this, but City Soleil, you call it a highlight, but it's a hard place to spend time at. I mean, it's
picture of it.
Yeah, it's very, very tough. I mean, we were bringing water to that. I mean, when we went on this trip, we were volunteering, trying to bring meals and bring water to these people. And, what we have here is amazing compared to what they have there. A backyard shed that houses a lawnmower and stuff like that is here in the U.S. would be a mansion in a place like this. So to put that in perspective, it was great helping the kids, and you wish you could take them all out of there and bring them somewhere, safe. But that was probably the hardest moment, but yet I was glad I could see what was happening there. So,
Stephanie, how about your experience?
So similar to Mark, I went with an organization through a local church group, and I went in the spring of 2013. Now this is just 3 years after this devastating earthquake. It was a 7 on the Richter scale, but for their infrastructure, it might as well have been a 10. So there was still a ton of like tent cities. So we flew in, and there's just one airport on the island of Haiti. And when you fly in, you see the devastation from the air before you even land. And so that was very impactful from the very beginning. And I was there for 7 days. And for those 7 days, I held abandoned children. I helped deliver clean water, which is one of the most basic of human elements that is needed. We visited a home for sick and dying girls who were dying of diseases that are just so preventable here in the U.S. We visited the elderly and cared for them in some remote areas of Haiti. And then I also had the pleasure of delivering clean water into Cité Soleil. One of the stories that we had heard is that after the earthquake, a humanitarian group had come in and dropped, of all things, porta potties for the inhabitants to use, but never came back again. So many of the structures that you saw in Cité Soleil, which really is nothing more than a garbage pit right on the coast, became dwellings for the individuals to live in because they literally had nothing. And so to deliver clean water, something that we take for granted, obviously, was such a gift to the people that live in Cité Soleil. The poorest area really in the world is what it's been termed.
Do we know how many people actually live in that
Over
area?
1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that in and of itself, I felt very, very humbled. And the inhabitants could not have been more welcoming, more excited to see us. And I've got just a little clip here of the children that would come running to you when they saw you get off the bus. They knew the bus was coming every day. It would circle every 6 days a week. And so I tell you what, to feel that kind of love from little people that don't know you from anyone is one of the greatest gifts that I received on my trip, for sure.
Nice.
And then also, there is a group there that was formed right after the earthquake called the Haitian Initiative, and that is to help young people, middle schoolers primarily, stay in school. And so once they, after school, 6 days a week, they're invited to come to a dirt field, which is their soccer field, and to play soccer for an hour. In the process of that, they're fed a manna pack. They're fed a meal out of a manna pack. And that may be their only meal for a day or two. And so, but in exchange for that, they have to stay in school. So it's just a great way to have these children stay in school, to really try their best, and then to get some exercise, to develop soccer skills, and to have a hot meal. And so we were able to meet these young men. These are U14 players from the Haitian Initiative. We played a little bit of soccer with them, and then we were told that they were coming to the Blaine Schwann's Cup in June, July, and we would see them again there play in their very first tournament ever. And they were sponsored by several of the families in the Twin Cities area. And so sure enough, I went with my family to the Cup and was reacquainted with these young men, and then was able to watch them actually win the Cup.
Wow.
So I tell you, and then after the tournament, these young men then visited the Egan site of Feed My Starving Children and packed meals. Awesome. And I was able to go along with that group and talk about bringing it full circle. And for them too, very impactful. So
that's great.
That really sparked me to want to bring a mobile pack then to the Hudson area.
So I can see what a huge impact these trips made on your lives, and the fact that you're sharing your passion with our community now is great. So you're inviting them to help out, to get involved, and also to help feed hungry children. So let's talk about this Hudson Area Goliath mobile pack. Last year was the first year, so let's talk about that. Yeah, Stephanie,
Sure.
what happened last year?
So we began planning the event shortly after the Goliath ended in 2015. So that would have been in the May timeframe. We began planning a mobile pack. So why not take the funds and pack right in our area? And we can impact community members in our area, and to give them a passion for feeding hungry children in a 2-hour time block. Both Mark and I learned what it feels like when you give of yourself. It sparks something in you, it drives you, it awakens something. And so what a gift I feel to give to other community members. And so Mark and I and several other committee members organized this. It happened in October of last year. And we had the funds from Goliath already had raised. And so we really focused on more the technical pieces of bringing a mobile pack to the Hudson area. We held it at the Y in Hudson. And we brought in over 1,000 volunteers in a 2-day pack event. It was 6 separate sessions, 2-hour sessions, and we saw what an impact it made. In fact, we had to turn volunteers away because it was so popular. And all of the ingredients are brought on site. You come and you pack. You have a great time. You listen to music, you dance, you have friendly competitions, you team build. We had sports clubs come from the area, some high school kids, 4-H, scouts, corporate sponsors would come and want to do team building. And we just had really a great time, raised some additional funds right there. And now we are looking to hold the second annual in February 17th and 18th. And we are looking to raise money in funds this time, beyond what the Goliath raised this year in June. And so we're about halfway there, and we are really hitting this fundraising effort hard. We are looking at beginning yesterday.
Yeah.
And so we are really hopeful that the community is going to really embrace this and just come together and give of what they can, their time, their talents, and their donations.
So tell us some more about this year then. How can somebody contribute, either financially or physically by coming to help? How does that work?
Well, and like Stephanie said, not having fundraised last year, this is new for us a little bit this year, but we're taking on Goliath with this one. So the fundraising part, we're hoping to connect with the other churches in the community, bringing them into this, as well as businesses through corporate sponsors, that kind of thing. So I think that's how we're going to focus on this and get the fundraising going where it needs to go. Goliath has already gotten us halfway, so we're going to have to make up the difference. And partnering with everyone, making this a community event is going to be the best way to do that. It's easy to do that, easy to donate, easy to fundraise. There's already a website set up for this through Feed My Starving Children. And basically, you just can be linked right to that. Donations can be done right online. You can set up your fundraising team right there as well and see how you're progressing relative to everybody else. So it's the fact that we can do everything over the web online like that makes it a real easy,
Very easy.
way to do it. So
the link will be shown and people could go right there to donate. And is that also where they could sign up then if they wanted a 2-hour shift to come and pack right there as well?
Yes, yep. And at the end, we won't open up those shifts until about 6 weeks prior to the event.
And the event is in, did we say this
is
yet?
February 17th and 18th.
Okay,
It's a
that's
Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
Okay, so in early January, then people are going to want to not wait because it sounded like last year it filled up. And if you want this opportunity right in Hudson to pack, you want to get online and sign up for a time slot. I went and visited and took pictures last year, and the joy on the faces of everybody, young people and adults, just was awesome. Is there an age limit of how young they have to be in order to pack?
Yeah, so Feed My Starving Children does have a few rules, one being 5 years of age and up. And then there is a chaperone ratios that we have to abide by.
Good.
Those will also be out on Feed My Starving Children's website that you can look up. I do want to add just a couple of statistics. Last year, we packed enough food to feed 590 children for an entire year.
Oh.
That's 220,000 meals now, or packs. Now we're looking to increase that to 280,000 this year, which will equate to roughly 1,500 volunteers throughout the 2 days. So
I think you can do it.
I know Goliath is never going to be, I mean, we're going to defeat that Goliath, aren't
Oh,
we?
we are.
Yeah.
We are, for
And
sure.
Hudson is a generous community, and all of the communities surrounding here, Western Wisconsin. I've seen that in my years here, so I don't doubt that you'll reach your goal. What about, we want to make sure that people are thinking about Goliath Challenge next year too. It's usually run late spring or early summer. They have not set a date maybe as of yet, but just to be watching for this 5K obstacle race,
Yep.
because that race also promotes Feed My Starving Children, and the funds either go toward that or helping with this Hudson Mobile Pack.
Yeah, and the team is going to be, coming up with those dates and stuff here. There's a Goliath Challenge website. It's www.goliathchallenge.com. So if they want to check that out, there'll be information about that race coming up here. And like you said, it's always typically spring, early summer. So everybody's getting out of the winter doldrums. You need to do something. This is perfect for that. So
Right in our backyard.
right in
Yep.
the backyard. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I appreciate both of you being here with me today. I think I'm excited for this and want to thank you on behalf of so many people for the work that you do. So thanks.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you for the
us.
opportunity. Yes. We hope to see you all there.
Yeah. Stay tuned for next month and my next guest, which I don't know who it is yet, but it's going to be amazing.